hey, this video that you're getting ready to watch, it's okay if you don't get all this stuff, because we're gonna kind of do a very general overview of some kind of complicated stuff. And I just want you to know ahead of time that we're gonna do a deep dive into all these areas, and this is just a general overview. So let's get started. In the last video, we learned what a sound system was, and we even ran pink noise through a microphone, which I don't ever recommend doing unless you want to blow it up. But I would recommend watching that video if you missed it. Now that we know the components of a sound system, let's go from an input source, like this guitar right here, to the sound system. Where is it? Right there, right there, right there, right there. Now I know absolutely nothing about video animation, and I don't want to learn. But this is a church. There's bound to be a whiteboard, some markers. Oh, like that. Now there's a lot of things we could put on this chart here, but we're gonna stick with the absolute basics. So the first thing we need is an input source. That could be a wireless mic, could be a keyboard. Drums count. That. First thing we're gonna do, plug it into the mixer. So we've taken our guitar, we've plugged it into the mixer. The first thing it's gonna see is the preamp. Is it getting hot in here? No, it's just the gain. The gain, get that thing hot. Don't get it too hot, so it's clipping, but bring that level up, okay? Let's bring that level to where it's a good, solid, we are really cooking with gas here, okay? That's what we need. This is probably the most important part. It's called gain staging, and it will affect everything else down the line. Here's an example of some nice hot gain. You see how it's starting to, hey, yeah, okay, yeah, it's not peaking. It's getting out of that green, hitting that yellow. That's what I'm talking about. Now, before you blast me in the comment section, yes, there is a very specific process to gain staging. We will talk about that, but that's not this video. So why is this so important? Well, getting the signal correct affects everything else that's about to happen. Let's go check it out. Now, not every mixer is gonna follow this exact flow here, but this is a pretty normal flow. And I've actually taken a few things out to make it a little simpler. But after our gain, we're going to our EQ, okay? Now, our EQ is basically, think of it like this. Okay, for this analogy to work, you're gonna have to kind of think creatively for a minute, okay? So let's pretend there is no video, there is no little tiny microphone that's picking up what I'm saying. It's just you and me, we're sitting in a room, and I strum this guitar. Okay? And it sounds nice. We're hearing it with our ears. There is no sound system, there's no video, there's nothing. We're just hearing it with our ears. I'm playing, it's doing its thing acoustically, and you're picking it up with your ears. Now, let's fast forward to plugging this thing into the sound system. Now there's a lot more variables in place. We're plugging it in, there's probably a pickup in here. It's running through the mixer and it's going out some speakers. That signal flow that's happening there changes the way things sound. But our end result is just trying to get back to this. Okay, if that was super confusing to you, that is okay. We're gonna talk a lot about this EQ section in a later video. But what's even harder to understand is this next section, dynamics. So, let me do my best to explain. Dynamics, what are we talking about? Well, more specifically, we're talking about compression. And compressors, those things get complicated fast. Okay, so I feel like I'm a broken record here by saying there'll be a video on that. But there will be a video on compression. There'll probably be multiple videos on compression. But basically, we're trying to kind of squish together a signal. We're trying to make it fit into its little spot. We want it to really sit in a certain spot because we got a lot of stuff going on. We got kick drum, we got snare, we got bass, we got acoustic, we got keys, we got the lead singer, we've got the background vocals. We got a lot of stuff going on. And so we really need to kind of tame it and tone it. And so I have an example. Since we're shooting a video, how about I just compress this signal? So here I am talking normally, and my voice is got a lot of ups and downs, like, hey, how's it going? Yeah, hey, all right, okay, cool. Lots of peaks. If you can see the meters, they're going up and down. So as I'm sitting here talking, I'm gonna start compressing this vocal, compressing it more and more and more. Check, 1, 2. Hey, check. You see how things are getting kind of wild, kind of squished? That's compression. Now that's an extreme example, and don't worry, if that didn't make any sense to you, that is okay, because we're gonna have more videos on this. This is just an overview. This is just the beginning. This is just showing you we're starting here, we're ending over here, We gotta go from here to there, from here to there, from here to there. That's all we're doing here. Okay, I think our journey has taken us from the mixer to the system processor. We are officially leaving the mixer. And for this, I think it's time to go on a journey. We're taking a journey to the basement. And in the basement, we're gonna find an amp rack. The amp rack houses the amps and the system processor. So basically, we went from input to the mixer, hit the preamp, then from the preamp, we went to the EQ section, out of the EQ section and into the dynamic section, and now we have finally made it to the processor. Okay, we're down here in the basement. Why are we in the basement? Why is this stuff in the basement? Well, it's got a lot of fans and it makes some noise. And I didn't want that anywhere near the stage or back at front of house or anything. Might as well just keep all this kind of stuff down in the basement. So what's happening here is we've sent two lines, a left and a right, from the mixer downstairs, hits the processor first, and then this processor. Now this can get complicated, but for now, just know, it hits the processor and then it gets distributed across these amps. And these amps do things like the mains or the subs or the ceiling speakers in the lobby, those kind of things. That's what's happening here. Okay, that concludes our journey to the basement. I don't know, you might not even care about this kind of stuff, or you might be lost and be like system processor and amp distribution and why are we in the basement? That is okay. This is just an overview. I feel like I'm saying that a bunch this video, but I'm just trying to lay out the basics. This is a normal sound system that you would normally find in a church setting, because in this church, we've got two subs, two mains, some lobby, some wedges. I mean, that sounds pretty standard for a small to medium-sized church. So that pretty much concludes our flow chart here from our little field trip. You can see behind me, we've got some speakers right there hanging in the air, and then there's some subs down low. But I've been doing this for about a decade or so, going around from church to church to church, usually a different church every week, teaching tech teams and worship teams and stuff like that, just regular old folks, the basics of sound. And this sound system, this is why I shoot here, because this is just a normal looking church. Might look like your church, but this is just a typical small church in America. And so I hope that you got something out of this video. If you did, man, it would be awesome if you liked and subscribed and all the normal stuff that everybody does. That would be huge. And leave a comment too, because that really does help the algorithm to kind of show this to more people, which is exactly what I need right now. I need as many people to see this as possible. So thanks so much. See you in the next video.